What if the most dangerous outbreak in history didn't make headlines? No emergency alerts.
No breaking news, no global lockdowns. Instead, it was erased. Doctors were silenced, records vanished, entire hospitals were sealed. For decades, this outbreak existed only in whispers, hidden behind classified files, redacted reports, and sealed archives. Tonight, we uncover the outbreak governments buried for generations. It began quietly. A handful of patients arrived at regional hospitals with symptoms no textbook could explain. Sudden neurological collapse, severe hallucinations, internal bleeding without visible wounds, rapid organ failure within days. Doctors assumed poisoning, then infection, then panic, because patients weren't connected by family. They were connected by location. Every case came from the same region. And then something unusual happened. Military vehicles arrived at civilian hospitals. Entire wards were sealed overnight. Medical staff were ordered to sign documents they weren't allowed to read. Phones were confiscated, notes were shredded. Autopsies were halted mid-procedure. Official cause of death? Natural complications. But nurses noticed something disturbing. Patients were improving, then collapsing suddenly after routine tests. Doctors later admitted, off record, that something was accelerating the disease, and no one was allowed to ask what. Internal documents, released decades later, revealed the truth. This wasn't just an outbreak. It was a containment operation. Authorities believed the disease had three terrifying properties: unpredictable incubation, environmental persistence, possible airborne mutation. If confirmed, public disclosure could have triggered global panic, so governments chose silence. Entire towns were quietly relocated, maps were redrawn. Medical journals were blocked from publishing data. Officially, the outbreak never happened. A small group of doctors refused to stay silent. They tried submitting papers under pseudonyms. They mailed samples overseas. They contacted journalists. Most failed. Some lost their licenses. Others disappeared from the medical system entirely. One physician left behind a final recorded statement: "We didn't stop the disease, we hid it." His notes were sealed for 30 years. Decades later, under pressure from historians and public health agencies, documents were finally released. What they revealed shocked researchers. The outbreak burned itself out, but not naturally. Containment worked because of isolation, not cure. Survivors developed long-term neurological damage. The pathogen was never fully identified. To this day, samples remain locked away, still studied, still feared. Governments didn't hide the outbreak because they were evil. They hid it because they were afraid. Afraid of panic, afraid of collapse, afraid of admitting they didn't have control. The most dangerous outbreaks aren't always the deadliest ones. They're the ones we're never told about. Somewhere in a vault, frozen in time, sits a sample the world has never faced. A disease that reshaped policy, secrecy, and medical ethics. And the next time officials say, "There is no cause for concern," remember this story. Because sometimes the outbreak isn't gone, it's just classified. Subscribe for more forbidden medical history, forgotten outbreaks, and the diseases governments hoped you'd never learn about.